everybody! Today for our daily leveled reader, we're going to be reading Looking at Low Tide. And this is by Andrew Mason and it's illustrated by Catherine Lucas. I want you to go ahead and make a prediction just looking at the cover. What do you think that this book is going to be about? Remember using that tool when we just look at the cover to make a prediction about what we think our story is going to be about. Go ahead and make a prediction to yourself. Let's go ahead and start reading. Miguel's family was spending their summer vacation at the beach. Miguel had never been to the beach before. His father had promised to show him how to catch crabs. Early on their first morning, Miguel and his father walked along the water's edge. Huge waves crashed at their feet. "Papa, can we look for crabs now?" Miguel asked. "Not for a few hours," Papa said. "The tide is still too high." "What do you mean?" Miguel asked. He had never heard about ocean tides. Papa told Miguel about tides. He explained that the level of the water at the beach changes every day. When the water rises, it's called high tide, Papa said. "See how far the water comes up to the beach now? It's high tide." Miguel looked at the line of water lapping at his feet. "Later, the tide will go out. This is called low tide. The water will become shallower. The beach will be much larger then. Low tide is the best time to catch crabs." Later that morning, the whole family went to the beach. Miguel noticed that the beach did seem much bigger. "It looks like low tide now," Miguel said to his father. "Can we look for crabs?" Papa smiled. "Yes," he answered. Suddenly, Miguel saw a seagull dive down in the sky and poke its beak into the sand. Then it flew up again, carrying something in its beak. "Papa, what's that bird doing?" Miguel asked. "The seagull knows it's low tide too," Papa replied. "It's finding food." Miguel and Papa ran to the spot where the bird landed. They found a small crater in the wet sand. "The seagull found a clam here," Papa exclaimed. "Clams burrow deep in the sand, but the seagull could find it because the tide is low." Miguel watched the seagull fly towards the wall of the rocks and reach out far into the ocean. "Where is it going with the clam?" he asked. "To the jetty," Papa explained. "It will drop the clam on the rocks to crack its shell. Then it will eat the soft part inside." "Can we go over to the jetty?" Miguel asked. "Yes," Papa said. "Now that it's low tide, we'll be able to find crabs in the shallow pools between the rocks." On the way to the jetty, Papa found a shiny blue mussel in the sand. He cracked the shell and pulled out the soft inside. Next, Papa tied the soft mussel to a long string. Then he led Miguel to the top of the jetty. "This looks like a good spot," Papa said. He lowered the string of the pool of water and between the rocks. Before long, he felt a tug. "We've got one!" Papa shouted. Papa pulled the string up. A green crab was clinging to the mussel with its claws. "Now you try, Miguel," Papa said, and he placed the crab in the pail. Miguel lowered the mussel. Soon he felt a crab clutch it. Miguel quickly pulled up on the string. "Look," he cried, "I caught one too!" Miguel and his father caught 7 crabs before they saw Mama come in to wave to them. "I think it's time for lunch," Papa said. Miguel and his father made their way back across the rocks and set the crabs free in the water by the jetty. Then they raced over to Mama and Arnaldo. That afternoon, Miguel and Arnaldo played in the waves for a long time. When he came out of the water, Miguel noticed that the jetty didn't look as tall as it had before. The beach looked smaller, too. "Papa, can we catch more crabs?" Miguel asked. "Not now, Miguel," Papa said. "The tide is coming back in." Miguel wasn't disappointed. He knew that the tide would go out again. Then it would be time to catch crabs again. What an awesome story. I'm going to put these response questions down in the description box below so that you can discuss them with a family member, or you can write them down and record them in a notebook or on a sheet of paper to practice our comprehension. I hope you guys enjoyed reading about looking at the low tide. Did you guess that it was going to be about someone at the beach? If you did, you were right. Great prediction. I'll see you guys in our next leveled reader.